Louise Upston.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I want to echo the comments that were made by my colleague Anne Tolley, because I'm quite disturbed, Mr Speaker, by some of the comments and behaviour I've seen in the House this afternoon of a racist nature that I don't think I've ever witnessed quite before. Not just the example that Anne Tolley gave of the comments that the Right Honourable Winston Peters made, but the comments and the mocking of one of the national members of the House earlier in question time, which was very clearly racially motivated, which I find quite disgusting. So, Mr Speaker, in terms of this urgent debate, you know, they're looking for an argument. They're trying to find something to argue about. And, you know, it's somewhat ironic that we're having this debate on this day, because if you look at Minister Judith Collins, clearly we've had a situation today where she has reflected on a couple of the issues. She's had a discussion with the Prime Minister. She's fronted the public. She has fronted the public on one minor issue. This very day, this same day, that same minister has gone out into the public and said what a stunning result that she has achieved, the Justice team has achieved in crime in this country. And Mr Speaker, I'm a bit saddened on this day that actually all of those people that she has led in those organisations haven't had their contribution recognised today. But instead, there's this kind of nasty, personal, racist attacks that come from the opposition. And so it's kind of a sad day for me, Mr Speaker, that we have to stoop to that level and to take time of the House on this sort of issue. If you look at the facts, Prime Minister has acknowledged in this very House today the enormous contribution the Minister of Justice has made and will continue to make on behalf of hard-working New Zealanders. And there's a conversation or somebody's bickering and interjecting about donations. Really happy to talk about donations. They're on the public record, unlike some that the opposition won't disclose. So, pot calling the kettle black. Get your stories straight. The reality is, if you want to talk about donations, get David Cunliffe, get him out there. Get him out there this afternoon on the steps.
Order. No, hang on. Order. There's a point of order. Sue Moroney.
The member who was on her feet just offered to table information about donations. I wonder if she would be so kind as to table the donations for the Waitemata Trust for the National Party.
That's not a point of order. Louise Upston.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The very point that I was making, and I'm happy to repeat it, is that we have a leader of the opposition currently who clearly knew who two parties were that made donations to a trust he'd set up to hide that fact. They're supposedly anonymous, and yet he knows them well enough to know who to return the funds to, which is somewhat interesting in a conversation around inappropriate behaviour. So, really happy to see your leader out on the steps of Parliament today and to talk about disclosure, about openness, about transparency, around having a situation where clearly he's quite comfortable. But no, we're talking about Tricky David who won't disclose the facts. So, Mr Speaker, I want to conclude by saying Honourable Judith Collins has done extraordinary work in this country. The results have come out just today. And hard-working New Zealanders are proud of the fact that we have the lowest crime rate in 33 years. But that side of the House can't cope with the facts.
Mr Chairman.
The Honourable David Parker.
Mr Chairman, the prior Speaker, Louise Upston, said we should feel sorry for the staff of the Department of Justice, the Ministry of Justice. Yes, we should, because they